Dun, 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 dun. Boom! Welcome back to the end of this week-long live stream series where I've talked about all the games that I played going to Asia this year at Spiel Essen. And there's 5 people here. Excellent. Welcome aboard. I just want to once again before we get started, I do want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching and for all the support. This last month has been a whirlwind of absolute chaos. I have a lot of great announcements to make further down the line. But first, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who has joined the Cardboard East Called Collection Auction on BGG. For those of you who have been really generous and joining, I will be. Good morning, Daryl. Good morning. For those of you who have been joining the auction and have been very, very generous, I'll be giving away gifts. Like little kind of gifts, such as like inclusions of games exclusive to Taiwan. I'll also be giving little Taiwanese fighter pilot patches that they put on their jackets. Like I think that's absolutely crazy. Like real pilots wear this. I think that's amazing. I'll also be giving away like these little bear magnets here. Taiwan is known for these little black bears, and they have this little white V on their chest and a little magnet here. And you can put that on your refrigerator or any magnetic surface. The big one is coming with me. I'm bringing the big one. He's been around since the beginning of Cardboard East, and he'll be sticking around with me. I am hot. There have been some big things. There's the big games that I'll be giving away at the auction, including this one, Forbidden Stars, which I don't know if you know this game, but this is a very, very, very out of print game, and this one is in very, very, very nice condition. Cards are sleeved. There are even coin capsules on the order tokens. I was really sad to let that one go, but I can't bring everything with me. Let's see here. Ooh. It is darker today than usual, but I have a light here. Hopefully that should be enough. If there's any problems, hi Brooke. If there are any problems, just please let me know. So today, what I'm going to do instead of talking about games at booths, I already did that for the first 4 live streams. If you want to see those, go to the description below, and I should have links to all those videos. Today, I'm going to talk about some other games that are going to Essen that may not be new or may already be licensed, but are still there. And if you hunt for them, you should be able to find them. I didn't have enough time to get booth numbers for everything, but I'll say the publisher, and you can just make a comment down below, and I'll answer it there. Excuse me, I am coughing. And someone just rang my bell. Who is this? Is it the police? Wait. 快递，这是包裹吗？哦，好，等一下，我下去。I am so sorry for that. There is a package downstairs for me. I get packages from publishers all the time. I get to run downstairs. It's 4 flights of steps. Really quickly, I just go pick it up, and I'll come right back. So I really apologize about this, and you get to watch me take my inhaler. That's good. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry about that. Ooh, we are back. Oh, I am so sorry for that wait. Oh. Whew. All right. Oh. I'm back. I'm sorry for the wait. Oh, let me catch my breath here. I just ran up some 4 flights of stairs and I'm overweight. Okay. So that interrupted us. So I'm gonna have to show you what I got. I only think it's fair. So, black rabbit legend cookie. You see that's the number of ba 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 or 88. Oh, 886. 886 is the international calling number for Taiwan. Aw, that's nice. These are what cookies in Taiwan kind of look like. They just go all out and like super fancy. And this has some English on it. If you aim at the moon, even if you are lost, you will fall between the stars. Aw, that's so touching. This weekend is Zhangqiujie or Mid Autumn Moon Festival. So there'll be a lot of barbecuing and a lot of drinking and a lot of cookie stuff, like cookies, like rabbits with the moons. I forget exactly how rabbits are integrated into the story, but this is really sweet. This is from one of the publishers here. I've gotten to know them a little bit better and reviewing some of their games and play tested some of their expansions and shared my thoughts with them. Mooncakes, it's mooncake season. Take a moment for yourself. No, these are cookies, not necessarily mooncakes. There's a joke in Taiwan that there are only ever like 10 boxes of mooncakes and they just go in between every family because no one has time to eat them. And this is kind of true because I used to be an English teacher for like maybe like a decade here, and I would get so many mooncakes this time of year, and it's because as I learned later on, like families, like if you're like your mom, your dad, maybe your sister or someone else like you live all together in this big house, like everyone's job gives them like mooncakes, and then your coworkers might give you mooncakes. So you come home and there might be like 10 boxes of mooncakes, and you don't want to eat 10 boxes of mooncakes. So you tell your kids, like, hey, give this box of mooncakes to your teacher, and then tell them we really appreciate the teacher. And I was getting hand-me-down mooncakes, and then I would take the mooncakes because I didn't want them, and they just give them to other friends. I'll be like my Taiwanese friends, like, oh, hey, I got this for you because you're my friend. And I'm like, yeah, right, yeah. So I was like, fruitcakes, yes, it's exactly how it goes. Let's look at these. Oh man, this looks beautiful. Like when you open up the tin, like there's this little paper here. What does it say? A bright moon and stars twinkle and shine, wishing you a merry mid-autumn festival, bliss and happiness. I don't know how I feel about that because bliss and happiness, are they kind of the same? And butter cookies. Ooh, oh my gosh, they are falling apart in my hand. Oh, I'm flying to Japan tomorrow night. So I guess I gotta be eating cookies. Maybe I could leave some. They'll be cool. I'm sorry, the microphone's right here. Have you ever eaten like really nice tuna, like tuna sashimi, like the like toro or like old toro, like the fatty part of the belly, like how it just kind of like disintegrates in your mouth? That's all this is. Like I put it in and it's like it's gone, and all that's left is like that flavor dancing on the tip of my tongue. Ah, yeah, that's good. All right, let's get back to the story. So sorry. Alan, if you see this, thank you so much, Alan. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And I told you these publishers are always very nice. They're always very nice with each other too. Like they help each other out. They play test each other's games. They're not as ruthless and cutthroat as some publishers are in other countries. But They're really, really nice. And when I was leaving, I had a lot of publishers reach out to me and say, thank you so much for over the years for helping out. We're really going to miss you. And I'm like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be across the pond. And I have a residency status here already, like an American green card version, or Taiwanese version of that. And so I got to come back to Taiwan, I think every 3 to 5 years, just like walk through customs, and then I can keep that. And I think I do want to keep that just for, I guess, yeah, I worked hard to get it, and I'm going to keep it. And so it'll be a nice vacation every few years. All right, moving on. Thank you, everyone, for being very, very patient with me. Now, going to Essen. I reviewed a lot of new games from Taiwanese publishers and Japanese publishers and Indonesian Thailand publishers, Singaporean publishers that are new and that are going to Essen. But I didn't have enough time to talk about games that have already been licensed or games that are already at Essen that you may not know about or may not know that they're originally from Asia. So I'm going to talk about those really quick. And these games that I'm mentioning, if you are a big fan of the top 100 board games from Japan, I'll be part 8 will be coming up next. I will be going to Japan next week for my wedding anniversary, and I will be shooting the rest of the videos there in Japan because why not? It'll be really cool. And so I'm going to talk about those games. So the games I'm going to be talking about, you should see them, spoiler alert, in the top 100 board games from Japan of all time that I played, which is a very, very tiny fraction. All right, that's enough prelude. So let's get to it. Some of the games that will be at Essen that you may not know is this one. This is Hameln Cave. I think this is one of the best trick-taking games I've ever played. You might know this as Sail, sail away. This was picked up by Board Game Tables, or now it's All Play, and they should be at Essen, right? They'll be at Essen. I haven't had time to check. But they picked this up and did a Kickstarter, and they did this and called it Sail, changed a little bit of mechanics, made it a lot easier because this game is really, really difficult. They made it a lot simpler and gave you the ability to customize the gameplay to a certain extent. This is a 2-player trick-taking game, and I think it is the best 2-player trick-taking game ever designed. And there aren't that many strictly 2-player trick-taking games. But this one is amazing. And it's just so good. You are essentially, it's Goonies, the prequel. So if you watch Goonies, they're little kids going into a cave where there's a pirate ship. This is about pirates who went to a cave, got treasure, and are trying to run out of the cave before it collapses. But you will probably fail, and it collapses, and you get stuck. This is also a campaign game. So there are like 5 different levels that you could play. I've only ever got to like level 4, and that was really, really difficult. We barely got past 3. So it didn't have to do that, but it did. And I think that's so cool that it did that. Like it really, really didn't. These are the English translations of the rules that I got. I also upgraded my components. The game, I think, originally came with like these blue little cubes here. And then I've upgraded them to, one, I upgraded it to like this little skull because I thought that would be kind of cool. I upgraded to a little Lego pirate hat because I thought that would be kind of cool. I had it comes with this little boat. And then I upgraded it to this one here just for fun. And then I also have like a nice little gem here for like a counter if I ever want to change it up. Anyway, the game is actually quite simple. You are... I should say simple, but it's really, really not. There are these 3 map tiles here, and you can flip them around to different categories, or different levels of difficulty. Let me see if I can find the first one. Here you go. I think. Yes, no, yes, 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 no, maybe? Okay, very good. So this is what it looks like. You're here where the skulls are, right? You got the treasure, and you're going to have to move your boat till you get out of the cave. And as you move your boat, one player sits on this side of the board, one player sits on this side of the board, and your boat's going to be here. And if this person up top wins the trick, the boat's going to go towards them. If this person on the bottom wins the trick, the boat's going to go towards them. So you kind of have to even out how you win the tricks to move along. There are different little things here. Like there's a little skull here. So if you go there, like more ghosts will come and attack you. There are these rocks here that you can't go past. The Kickstarter version, the sale from All Play, has added some more of these. So now like there's a whirlpool or there's some other special effects. And they've made all these little formations here, like 3D, like meeples, to just really, really, really bling out the game. A little bit too much, I think, or unnecessary much. But hey, you know, it's your game, bling it out. One of the cool things that came with this game is this. It's a journal, right? They didn't have to include this. I think this is really cool. And it's this little story that goes into like the story of the thing, and then like it goes into the different characters, and it kind of just goes and tells the story of like the different campaigns and different adventures that you're going on. You didn't have to do that, but they did, and it's so cool that they did. The mechanics are really simple, but it's, I don't know, what's also really neat is that in addition to the trick taking that you do, you also have player characters. So there's a lot of replay value there. Like there's an unlockable character that you have here, you know, and then there are these other characters that you can play as. And I really like this art. And I think the art for sale is really good. Don't get me wrong. I really like the art for sale, but I just really like this style of art a lot more. It just, I don't know, it resonates with me a little bit more. And like you see here, they all have their own unique ability on the back of them, and the ones that you don't use. So you could just place it like this when you play. This will tell you the breakdown of the deck. Daryl says, you know, I could see that game themed with One Piece. Having even watched it, yeah, you know, I've been thinking about that too. Like this could totally be like a One Piece thing. Although, like you usually the crew kind of survive, and this one, like, it's really hard to. It's really easy. This game is not that hard. Like when you play, it's very easy to play. It's really hard to win, and it's very difficult to win because it takes a while for you to really understand how you should be playing. But once you do, I think there's a lot of magic in this game. It's just so clever. If you notice here, like there are 3 colors, and this is not the suit. The suit is the color, but there are different, each numbers like have different things. Right here, you have swords, ghosts. Here, going along with this. So if you play like 2, if I play a wheel and you play a wheel, well, then we can move the boat like more efficiently. If I play a sword and you play a sword, then we could both kill ghosts. You know, if we play like a ghost wheel and like this wheel, then we go, but then we add more ghosts in. And if you add too many ghosts, you die. If you add, if you can't kill the ghost fast enough, then you die. So what happens is that you will have to spend the first part of the hand trying to move the boat as quickly as you can, like maybe 1, 2, 3 steps. You're always moving, otherwise you're dead. And then you spend some time killing ghosts, and then you try to find a time to not collapse the hand. When I showed the map, one of the cool things is that like there's this little purple line here, and that means at a certain point by a certain round, if you're not past that line, okay, that's outside. If you don't pass that line, the game's over. Like the cave is collapsing as you play the game. This is really tense, and there are some moments in there where you have to roll the hard 6 sometimes, and maybe you make it out and maybe you don't. But there's a lot of going back and forth and trying to figure out and math out the remainder of the deck with your opponent. And there aren't that many cards, so you can kind of guess what cards are in your opponent's hand. So there's just a lot of replay value here. There's a campaign with it as well. I am just I was really blown away by this. And the fact that it's just a deck of cards, and initially it was just a deck of cards, a ship meeple, and like 2 little cubes. And that's it. And with that, they were able to create an amazing gameplay experiences. This is one of the best games to ever come out of Japan. You can find this at All Play if they're at Essen. But I like this art better. Yeah, Brooke, I agree with you. I think this art is just so much better. I think the sale one looked a little bit too, I don't know. Like, I just like the cartoony art of this. And it just looks, oh man, I want to show you the cards. The cards and the art on the cards, the card art. Like the card art looks great. Like, I mean, the character cards looked pretty cool. And I apologize if you could hear that. There's kind of like this construction going out on the street, but like the steering wheel here, right? It's kind of broken and shattered. You have, let's see here. You have a sword. You have a nice little cutlass, and the pirate just looks so cool. I love that deal. Like it totally looks like Goonies, right? That's what I was thinking. You have, I think those are the three. There's also a mermaid, and if you both play a mermaid, which is incredibly difficult, but you can't do it if you're working hard. If both of you play a mermaid, well, then your boat, instead of moving like left or right, it goes straight. So you move twice as fast. Very difficult to do, but it can happen. And we have done it, and it's oh man, when you get two mermaids out, you just high five each other because there's this amazing rush at the table, and I've never played a game of this where, and there's a few times, but like more often than not, it's just always down to the wire where you're like right there at the end, the cave is collapsing behind you, and if you don't win on that hand, you're done. And it's good. This is such a good game. Moving on. This will be in the top 100. Moving on is also, I mentioned before in the last video, is Nokusu Dice. Nokusu Dice is one of the best trick-taking games to ever come out of Taiwan, come out of Japan. But all it is just a deck of cards and dice. But there's some interesting thought that went into this design. I find it really, really clever. The fact that you open the game, you begin the game with hands, with cards in your hand, and then there are dice, and you take turns drafting the dice. And then you put the dice in front of you. And so your hand consists of the cards in your hand and the dice in front of you. And so everyone can see like half of each other's cards. There's this nice, interesting balance between open information and closed information. The cool thing is that the last thing you play is that you'll play all the cards and all your dice. The dice can be cards like from your hand. So if you roll like a 3 yellow, then that'll be a 3 yellow. One of the dice will remain, and that'll be your bid. So like I'll have won 6 tricks or 5 tricks, and you kind of have to play your hand out with that in mind. Really, really interesting stuff. The only downside to this is that it does rounds equal to players. Because I find that with 4-player or 5-player games, like 4 or 5 rounds of trick taking kind of wears me out. I think 3 is where I usually do it, and usually with 3 rounds, you can kind of tell who's going to win. If it's not a close game at all, then I'll ask if we can cut it. And mostly people will be like, yeah, there's no way we can catch up. The other thing is that this does tiered trumping. So like that may not be for everyone. And it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around sometimes. So it's sort of like, aha, I have this trump. Aha, I have a higher trump. Aha, I have the higher ultimate trump. And that can be kind of fun and exhilarating, but it's also a little difficult to wrap your head around. So, but be that as it may, like people really, really love this game. If you want to see what the original one is, this is the original, like one of the original printed versions of this. And I believe there are only ever like 200 of these ever made. This is what it looked like. It's just this bag right here. And the dice are like these nice, very simple wooden dice with like some foil pips on them. And then in addition to that, there are just these cards. Very, very simple cards. Like that's it. That's all the game was. And it was a phenomenon. And it's going to be there at Essen. And it's the first time it's been reprinted in a while. I printed out the newer version's rules, and it's going to stuck it in here. But yeah, this is a great trick-taking game. If you really love trick-taking games, I strongly recommend you check this out. They might sell out pretty quickly because this game has been out of print and in demand for quite a while. So Nokusu Dice is great. Definitely check it out. Let's see. Hameln. I thought sale was really good. Where can I look for this at Essen? Brooke asks, she's asking about Hameln Cave. This is known as sale. You should be able to find it at All Play, if All Play's at Essen, which they should be. I don't know why they wouldn't, right? They're at Essen, right? All Play or board game tables. They should be there. I'm sorry I haven't had time to check it out. I'll check out the booth numbers. But I remember that this should be there, and so hopefully you can find it. That's a trick-taking game, but as much as I like Nokusu Dice, I think this game and Hameln Cave, I think as much as I like these two games, I think Cat in the Box, this is the Taiwanese version with the traditional Chinese characters. I think Cat in the Box is the best trick-taking game ever. Yeah, I believe Bezier Games will be there, and you could probably stop by the booth and pick this up. This is there's just so much about this game that I love. Now, I think The Crew is a better game. The Crew is a better game. It's more approachable, but I think this is a better trick-taking game. And what do I mean by that? Is that when you play The Crew, like maybe there's only one or two cards in your hand that you care about, and everything else is just fluff, and you don't care. So when you're playing these cards, like, yeah, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Okay, I need to make sure I get this one card that I want. But every card in your hand matters in Cat in the Box because there is a struggle with each and every card that you play. You're thinking, if I can do this, I won't cause a paradox. I need to stall time so I don't cause a paradox. I need to do this so I can bridge that gap and have a bigger area so I can get the scoring bonus. I have to do this so I can reach my bid. And I find myself struggling with each card that I play. And each card gets progressively more and more difficult with your hand in Cat in the Box because the board gets really, really, really tight. This is the best trick-taking game I think ever made. Boo! I'll find Hameln somehow. Oh, you want Hameln, not Sale. Oh, okay. I get you. If Brooke, you should go. I made a video a long time ago called how to buy board games from Japan, and in that video, it gives you everything you kind of need to get started. It teaches you about some of the shipping, like the forwarding services that you do. I talk about some of the forwarding services there. I tell you about Surugaya, which is kind of like the like eBay of Japan, and you kind of teaches you how to order games there. If you're looking for games from Japan, like sometimes their name actually exists. People use the English name, but sometimes they use the Japanese name. So I would go to BGG, go to versions of the game, and then find the Japanese name of it. If you can't find it there, go to Bodoge, Bodoge, which is the Japanese version of BGG. Type in the English name, and you should find the Japanese name. Cut and paste the Japanese name into the search engines, or like Surugaya, and you should be able to find a copy of this game secondhand. If you find secondhand Thorns, you should be able to do that there. I'll look for it on my trip to Tokyo next year. Yeah, actually, absolutely. If I'm going to go to Tokyo this weekend, so if I see it, I'll grab a copy for you and let you know. And that is Hameln Cave. But I think Cat in the Box is the best. My version of Cat in the Box is my favorite because I think the game comes with a card, like a little card like this to show like who's the first player here. I have a nice little 3D black cat I have here. And if you're wondering if this cat is a boy or a girl, and look, his head moves. Hello. What? Ah, adorable. I love it. But yeah, I just really, really love this game. I think Hobby Japan really did an amazing job redoing this game. The little see-through components are here. If you're really interested in this game, you could also join I think Bezier Games is still doing their Kickstarter campaign for like the jumbo version of this, where you could actually have a cat that's the size of a cat. And they also included like some expansions for this, and that's actually the expansions are actually quite interesting. I really think they're quite interesting. But this game is the best trick-taking game I think to ever come out anywhere in the world. Period. And you can pick this up at Essen. Really good stuff. Some other games that I think are really worth noting. It's sold out at the moment. I just checked on Bodoge. It's sold out at the moment. It's sold out, but there's still secondhand stuff floating around there, so you never know. There are a lot of secondhand cafes, like secondhand board games cafes in Japan, and they just sell them and they don't really advertise. They do like Yahoo auctions. It's a maze. It's a labyrinth. It's a labyrinth in Japan. Some other games that I do want to talk about that are going to Japan. One of the best games out there are Scout. This is the original Scout, not the Oink version, but Oink will have a copy of this. So head on to the Oink booth. And the Oink booth this year is the best year it's ever been because you have Oink, Itzin, and Sashi all in one booth. Mind blowing. Scout was nominated for Spiel Essen. It totally deserves it. It's an excellent game. And so you can definitely pick this up. I think it's amazing. It's a really, really good hand shedder. When I play hand shedding games, the goal is to get rid of all the cards, shed all the cards in your hand. I am asking myself, like, is it better than Scout? Like, I could play this, I'll have fun, but is it more fun than Scout? And like 95% of the time, it's like, no, it's not. That's how good this game is. Also, is Wind the Film, not Photograph. You can pick up Photograph because Matago Games picked up Photograph, and they'll have it different cover. But if you want the original game, if you want the original box cover, go to the Itten booth, the Itten, Oink, and Sashi booth, and you'll have a few copies of this. Very, very few. I'm thinking like 20 or 30 copies. Like very, very few. I think Sashi said he asked Matago, and Matago was like, "You can bring a little. It's okay. It's okay. We'll let you bring a little. It's okay." So, yeah, you also want the original Scout. Like, yeah, man, this one is so nice. And they have plastic cards. I'm not the biggest fan of plastic cards, but it works in this game. I kind of wish they were a little thicker, but it's fine. And these I don't ever really need to sleeve. This is really, really good stuff. I really like this colorful artwork for this one. I think it's really, really cool. I think it just pops more for me than the Oink version. Yeah, if you want a copy of the original Wind the Film, definitely go to the Sashi and Sashi Oink Itten booth and pick up a copy because they'll be gone in like the first few hours. And like I just love the original artwork. The Takako Takarai's art is fantastic. If you are a big Sashi fan, Wind the Film is probably the best game for you because he repurposed a lot of the art from the games into Wind the Film. And like you can see this, like this is from Coffee Roaster, right? Like that's the guy from Coffee Roaster. How cool is that? You see, let's see if we can find some more here. Hey, you like Sashi and Sashi games? Do you remember this game? This came out before In Front of the Elevators, but now you have elevators there for it. And it's like this greatest hits of Sashi and Sashi. I think that's so cool. Do you like Take the Acorn, the trick-taking game from Sashi and Sashi? Well, hey, they're the boys from the cover of Take the Acorn. There's like all these little things here. I think that's so, so fascinating and neat. And just how he redoes the artwork here, it's just really, really nice. I love the idea of film being used here. And look, here's the Coffee Roaster guy again. I love the idea of the film on top. It just, I don't know, it really fits the theme of the game. The whole idea of moving a card from your hand just adds so much. It's a little fiddly at the end with when the sunset card comes out. But yeah, it's just really, really good. This is a game that scales so well from 2, 3, 4. It's like Lost Cities, but brutal, where all the decisions are bad, and you try to make the best of a bad situation here. I love the card art on the back of the cards, where you have even more film. Quick tip is that if you do pick this game up, you want to keep this because you need this to make sure the cards don't fly around when you put it back in the box, because they will. But yeah, this is an amazing game. In the top 10 games to ever come out of Japan. Yeah, I said it. And you can pick it up at Essen this year. Another game that's going to be at Essen this year is from a French publisher, originally from a Japanese publisher, but a French publisher called Sorry, We Are French. And sorry, I don't know their booth number. But Iki is also, I think, in the top 5 board games to ever come out of Japan. It's that good. I'm a little bit picky though. I like my version of Iki, not the. And Sorry, We Are French. I'm so happy you got the license for it and publish it because I think it's a great game. They also have an expansion coming out for their version, and I think that's even cooler. They expanded it really well. If you want to know the difference between this one and the Sorry, We Are French, I'll give it to you right now. The art is the biggest difference. 99% of the game is the exact same. The math is a little bit better in the new version. Some cards are a little bit cheaper, so you can advance your cards or age your cards a little bit faster. So the math is a little bit better in the new version. Also, in the new version, there's more tobacco and more fish that you can buy, so it's a little bit more flexible and not as punishing. Also, like tobacco and fish have special abilities. The tobacco has special abilities for you. So there's even more flexibility there. This game has like a set number of buildings that are available every single game. And the new one, there are more buildings that you kind of have to randomize through, and so there's a different set of buildings each game. So there's a little bit more playability there. If you are going into Iki for the first time, then I recommend you get the new one because the math is just better, and there's a new expansion that's out now that you can pick it up, and there's just more fun for you. But at the end of the day, I actually like this one the most. My specific copy, through a weird series of events, I have 2 copies of Iki in here, 2 copies of the 2015 game. So I have used both copies to make a hybrid version of using the second edition rules for the first edition, but I get to keep the old style ukiyo-e art for this one, and I just can't explain it. Like when you play this game with the ukiyo-e art, it just feels like you're playing an artifact, like a relic of a long time. It doesn't necessarily feel like a board game. This game is just so gorgeous. I love the simplistic art style of the cards, like on the card backs. I really like that. The ukiyo-e art style, I understand it's not for everyone. I understand that it's divisive, but I just eat this up. Like I just think this is really gorgeous. I really love it a lot. The what are some other things here? Like the something that I remembered. Oh yes. So one of the new things that happened is that the original one didn't have player boards. This one, the new one, does. And if you go to BGG, actually, someone actually took the time to create like a fun little expansion. The expansion is okay, but what's really cool is that they made player boards, and these player boards are really beautiful. Like you put your the people that you get here on the bottom, and you put your fish and tobacco up here, and it's just really nice. And with this, I don't really need the new version. And while the expansion does add like some cool ideas, I don't think the ideas are 100% necessary. But if someone gifted me the copy, I'm not going to say no to it. I'm totally going to say yes, thank you. But yeah, man, like there's a lot to this game that I really love. And if you go to BGG, someone wrote an essay about this, and you go to the file section, and there's an essay about it, and they go into the choices of the artwork for this, about how they chose the artwork, even the fish. The art that they chose for the fish are fish that were around for that particular season, for that time period. There's just so much attention to detail that went into this game. Really amazing. The rule book is not as brutal as people make it out to be. Some people say, like, I just don't understand the rule book. And I'm thinking to myself, do you read the rule book left to right? Maybe I just have a lot of experience reading the rule book, so I can understand what people are saying. But this is just a rondelle game. I love rondelles. And you're moving around this map as you can, and you're buying spots for stores. And every time someone visits your store, this store gets experience. And if it gets enough experience, they retire and come to you, and you score more points. And every time you make a loop, like all your cards level up in experience. And you're trying to put your cards in a place where people can come and buy, and you're interacting with each other. It's a very tight game economically. This came out in 2015, and it's still relevant today. People are still playing it today. An expansion came out for this game today, and it came out in 2015. This is just an amazing game, and I definitely think you should give it a try. Is re-released in Japan as well. Oh, wow. So Daryl says that the Brook Original Scout, I believe, is re-released in Japan as well. I think I saw that somewhere, but not sure how that works when Oink has a version out as well. Yeah, who knows? But if you pick up Oink, if you pick up Iki, get 2. That's what I did. And yeah, there are those games. But the one game that I definitely want to recommend to you, and this is also in the top 10 board games to ever have come out of Japan that I've played, and that's this game. And this is Nana. Nana is a fancy way of saying 7. Now, if you go to BGG and you type in Nana, you should be able to find it, but it's called Trio, Trio, and it got picked up by a French publisher known as Cocktail, like drinking cocktails. And Cocktail got this game, and like many French publishers, they say, oh, we take the mechanics, but we don't want the art. And so they got the game, rethemed it as a Dios de los Muertos theme, and then repackaged the game, called it Trio, and then released it. They should be at Essen, and you should get it and pick it up. Now, if you ever get a copy of this, just grab it because it's amazing. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. But just go ahead and grab Trio. Now, you can't play this with a deck of cards. And usually when I travel, I carry a deck of cards with me that I use to play like Regicide, Nana, Four Clans Conflict, and several other games like Euchre, several other games there. But this game, Nana means 7, and it's a fancy way of saying 7. There are different ways to count in, excuse me, in Japanese. If you want to play this game with a regular deck of cards, just screen capture this, and that's all you need. Just screen capture that, and then that's kind of like all you need. I got to play Nana with Thinker Themer. I will not accept Trio, only Nana. I feel you, Brooke. Yeah, Thinker Themer played this game, and yeah, everyone loves it. I think in their video, they Thinker Themer, two lovely ladies. They make great content. They went to with Monique and Naveen from Before You Play, and they're playing games one night. And later into the night, they're just kind of getting tired. And then they said that Monique was like, let's just play Nana again. I just want to play Nana again. And that's how Nana feels. It's just, the game is so good. It's called 7 because 7 has like this special foil. Look at the pigs. Look at the art. It's so cute. The game is you just win 3 sets because that's Trio, right? 3 sets. If you get 3 1s, 3 2s, and like 3 8s, then you win the game. Get 3 sets, you win the game immediately. If you get 2 sets, you can also win, but they have to add up to 7. So like 2 and 5, or 9 and 2. And if you forget, if your math is bad, on the cards they have a little number here. So like if you get the set of 12, that's great. 2 more sets you win, or the 1 set of 5 and you win the game immediately. Or because it's Nana, because Nana means 7. If you get 1 set and that set is 7, you win the game immediately. And that's how you win. How you play the game is just really, really simple. You have cards in your hand. They have to organize like from highest to lowest. And you have 2 actions on your turn. And there are some cards here on the table that are face down, but everyone else has cards in their hand. And you take 2 actions. And your actions are one of 3 things. So you could say, point to a player and you say, reveal your lowest card. And they just reveal their lowest card. And they put it down like on the table so everyone could see. And then you could ask, and then your next action could also be reveal your highest card. And then they have to reveal like their highest card and put it on the table. If they match, you can take 1 more free action. If they don't match, your turn's over and it goes to someone else. So let's say it's someone else's turn and they say, you reveal your lowest card. That person reveals a 7. Everyone's like, woo. And you say, you reveal your lowest card, and that person reveals a 7. And then there's also cards on the table. And let's say you just happen to flip one over and it's a 7, and then you win. And while that sounds so simple and kind of silly, and you don't understand why it's so amazing, it's just amazing. The reason is because when you obviously know that someone's looking, let's say, for like the 5, and the 5 is in your hand, you are bluffing and being cold-faced as you can, not trying to smile or smirk, so that way they know that there's a 5 is in your hand. Maybe you're not making eye contact, maybe you don't. If you have a 5, someone else has a 5, and you both know each other, they have a 5, and the third 5 is revealed somewhere, you both kind of look at each other and like, that's what it is. And there's that extra level of tension there and bluffing. And I love bluffing because it forces players to interact with each other in a way that other types of mechanics just don't really do. And 7, Nana is the greatest name for this. Like having it called 7, because when a 7 is revealed on the table, like everyone at the table is just like, ooh, and it's just amazing. And like when someone pulls a 7 from someone else's hand, like it's just, ooh, goes around the table. Probably the most memorable version of this game that I had was that like we knew that I was going to win on my next turn. I knew it. I knew I was going to win. And the person there knew that they probably weren't going to win. And so they just flip over a card in the center of the tables and just like, heck with it. And it was a 7. And they're like, ooh. They flipped over another card, center of the table. It was a 7. And everyone is freaking out of the table. I'm just like holding my hands going, no. no. And then they flip over another card in the middle of the table, and it was a 7. All 7s were there on the table for anyone to win at any time. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. People ask me all the time, like, what do you think it makes a good board game? And I think I have boiled it down to this. A game is a good board game, a great board game, if it creates memorable experiences. And if a game, and just like even just a deck of cards, if it can create these like stand up, shout out moments, then it's a great game. And if it can create those memories where you just think about it and you remember it for the rest of your life, like every time I touch this box, every time I look at this box, I think of that moment. That's a great game. To me, that's a great game. And however you define that for yourself, that's up to you. But to me, like this deck of cards, 37 cards. That's it. 37 cards and some instructions. You could have cost out that 37th card and just made it instructions. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I played this a couple. Steve says I played this a couple times with my friends, and my friends liked it a lot. Yeah, this is great. Because after you play this, it's like, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes. You'll play again. You'll play this like 2 or 3 times. Like boom, boom, boom. And it's infectious. It's a great way to end the night. And I played this with a deck of cards without the lovely, lovely Side Beppo art, the art by Side Beppo. I've played this with just a regular deck of cards, and I still had a lot of fun. The art really elevates the game, but man, oh man, like Trio is an amazing, amazing game. Nana is an amazing game. Trio is a really, really solid game. Nana is an amazing game. There, I said it. Those are games that are old, going to Essen. Oh, one more. All Play are board gaming tables, and now they are called All Play because I don't know, but I like the inclusivity of that. Hey, let's all play. I like that. I don't know, because I'm a person of color, and to me, like anything that is about being inclusive is really important to me. Representation really, really matters. Like I loved Goonies as a kid, and I'm fully aware that it's mostly because there was an Asian kid in that movie. It's like there's a kid that looks like me in that movie. I could go on grand adventures. Yeah, it matters. So when Kiwi Kwan is crying, I was crying watching him like twice as hard. This is Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town. And I think this is one of the greatest games to come out of Japan ever. I am auctioning this one off because All Play has it and I can pick it up in the US. I need to lighten my load. But this is essentially, how do I say it? D&D light in a box. Because one person is the GM, the ghost mayor, because there are these pizza deliverers, and they lose their pizzas in Ghost Town. So now they have to find their pizza and then deliver it. But they have psychic powers that give them special abilities. So that's why it's called Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town. One person, but the twist here is that none of the pizza deliverers know what the town looks like, and they're just randomly lost. And the GM, the ghost mayor, does. He's the only one who knows what the map looks like. And you have this cool little map here that shows what it is. The rest of the players have to kind of map out what they think the ghost town looks like. And they're moving around trying to figure out what this map looks like. And along the way, like there are ghosts that they could fight. They can find the pizza. They look north, south, east, west. On some houses appear. They might find a house and find out it's a pepperoni house instead of like the shrimp house. Really, really fun and simple, right? And you have X amount of rounds to do it. The twist here is that as I'm a pizza deliverer, I am also thinking about the map that he's making. I'm thinking about the map he's making and thinking like, oh, can we interact? I was like, oh, wait. There's a house there, house there, house there. I was here. So I'm looking at his map. So this must look like this. And now I have a better idea what that map looks like. And that's really, really cool. There are those little layers in the game that you don't really expect to find, and they're there. And the original version of this that came with all these tokens, like the pig token, a monkey on a motorcycle token, and you can drop those onto the map and just enrich the experience more and have more things for the characters to play with and interact with, and lean more into that narrative storytelling style of play. All play with this one didn't really include those, so they lent more to the cold mechanics of deduction style of play. And you can do either or. Like you don't need a token of a pig to say there's a pig in this square, so you can just do that on your own. And that's what I really like. It's essentially D&D in a box, a very small box, like a little tiny campaign. I mean, there's no tactical combat, but you got to do what you do. And even the name is just absolutely ridiculous. I love it. One of the top 20, I think, top 20, definitely top 30 games coming out of Japan and already at Essen. And these are some games that have been licensed and sent to Essen. Now, because I promised, also, there are some games going to Essen that aren't for sale, but you can demo them. And there's two that I want to talk about. I already talked about this one before. This is called, I don't know,派遣小鎮. This is from Shanghai. But then it was called Townsfolk Wanted, but now it's called Explorers of Navoria, which is not a great name. They should totally change it back to Townsfolk Wanted or something else. But this is a really, really good game. This is now my go-to gateway game. So when I want to introduce people to games, I'll probably pull out this one just because it's really beautiful. The mechanics are really simple, but engaging and tricky. And you immediately feel the tension of what you're supposed to do. And usually in the first round, you get an idea of what you're supposed to do and how you should be playing the game. I think that's really important for gateway games because if you have to spend like a third of the game to half of the game figuring out what you should have been doing for that first half, that's less of an ideal, I think, for gateway games. This one's really good. Doesn't have that problem. You cannot. This will be at Dranda. I forget exactly where they are. I think it's 3Q124. Just pulling that out of my head. You'll be here to demo this, and they're going to launch a Kickstarter next year. I think from now until then, I'll probably do a review of this up there. But Danny from the Board Game Sanctuary did an amazing video, and you can check that out. I think he did a really good job there. But yeah, this is a really good game. And I think Sarah from it's like Board Gaming in a Minute TikTok, she'll be there demoing this game. So you could go up there, say hi to her, and say, teach me this game. And she'll teach you this game, and you can play with Sarah. How cool would that be? But yeah, this game is super colorful. I love the artwork there. And yeah, it's very reminiscent, very heavily inspired by Roots. I mean, it's kind of hard not to say that. But it's there. It's really good. And if you can't wait and you want this, then put a comment down, DM me, and let me know. Because this is actually quite easy to find in Taiwan. Like you can find copies of this quite easily in Taiwan already. I'm not sure if they're going to do anything differently for the Kickstarter campaign, but I doubt it because it's already kind of perfect. They maybe extend it a little bit longer, maybe more cards, definitely more cards. Because after you play the game like 5 times, you kind of seen all the cards and you know the composition of all the cards. Maybe you haven't memorized it yet. But yeah, they'll probably introduce more cards. I don't know if they'll introduce any more mechanics. They might introduce double layered player boards and some more bling because it's Kickstarter. Not that that's a bad thing about Kickstarter, but I mean, Kickstarter has definitely changed things, how people design, because people definitely design games in tiers now with that in mind. All right, now we're going to talk about my favorite games going to Essen. Ooh. Let me put that one over here. I do want to mention this one. Let's see here. I think, yeah, let's do this. Here's Energy Apex. In the second video, I was supposed to have this. I just got this now, a while ago. Not now, but like a while ago. And I'm going to show this to you and talk to you all about it. This comes from Mo Ideas. This is designed by Wang Yu. Wang Yu is a Taiwanese designer. He has his own publishing company called Blue Magpie. His biggest game that he's done is the Maholika game that came out like in 2018. Went to Essen, and it's a nice tile laying game. And he did Maholika Roll and Write or Draw and Write. That went to Essen and it did pretty well. Not as big, not as well as Maholika, But I think he's since gotten married, done really well at his job, bought a Tesla, drove me around in it, didn't give it to me. I was very sad, but I'm leaving the country anyway. So I was nice and gave it back to him, but he didn't give it to me. Anyway, but now he has designed 4 games that are coming out, 2 going to Essen and 2 more going to Game Market later this year. And I got to tell you, like, all 4 of his games are solid. Really solid games. They go from solid to really good. The new Maholika is coming out next year, or like Game Market maybe, but definitely next year. The new Maholika is coming out. If you've never played Maholika, it's just like it's this tile drafting combo style game. And the biggest downfall of the game was that every round you had to reset the draft board, and that took like a minute or two, and kind of like broke the pace of the game. So like as you're playing the game, combo, and reset the board. Combo, reset the board. And they redesigned the draft board and how the drafting mechanism worked, and made the tiles look even more beautiful. And now, like, you could reset the board like super fast. And Peter, the publisher who's publishing the new version, he told me that, like, Jay, I've consistently played 4-player games of the new Maholika in under 30 minutes. I'm like, under 30 minutes? He's like, yeah, under 30 minutes. You don't mean like 35, 40? He's like, no, about 30 minutes. So it's like Azul, roughly about the same amount of time. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I can't wait to see that and try that out. He also did, I think I could get it. Let me be right back. See, I think I found the paper there. Is it here? Is it here? No. Oh, well. But in addition to Maholika, Wang Yu also designed a game kind of like Scout. It's a hand-shading game, but there are no negative points. Scout has negative points. This new game called Pass, P-A-S-S, does not have negative points. And I played it, and I love it. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I've already made some posts about it. And I think it's an amazing game. It's an amazing card game. That's going to come out at the Tokyo Game Market this winter. So you should definitely stay tuned, and I'll tell you more about that in November for sure. And then, the other ones he did the social deduction game from More Ideas, but this is the other game they did called Energy Apex. So like Wang Yu just out of nowhere just designed like some amazing games. This comes in like a little rule book here, and this is the beef of the game here. This step into the octagon. This is a card drafting game. So if you really liked like vegetable stock, then this is something that's a little bit more gamery. So you're gonna put this down on the table. I think I have enough room here. Let's. I have the power to control your sight. So we're gonna put you down here a little bit there. You can see my belly popping out over the table. Here you go. Then you're gonna take these tiles here. If you can see them here. Now there are 8 of them. They all have different abilities here. It doesn't really matter. You're going to place these here. In the order. The order does not matter at all. It'll change every game. Okay. There you go. Then you're going to take these cards. And this is what the cards look like. Right. And they are here. And there's all you really need to pay attention to is this and this. And then you have like these little quotes here from like famous people, like tidal power captures the energy generated by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun on Earth's oceans. Okay, that's not an inspirational quote, but there are other ones. Let's see here. I swear. Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. English proverb, or I don't know. There's some other. There you go. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah, some really fun energy stuff. And this is what the kind of cards look like. And now More Ideas, even though they've been around for a few years, they are a very tiny publisher. Very tiny publisher. Like just a handful of people working on it. And this is what the art looks like. It kind of looks like just energy style of gameplay here. Really simple artwork, nothing too fancy, but I like it. Then you're going to take on each side of these, you're going to take these cards and place them here. You're going to shuffle these cards up and place them here. So they'll look like this. And you're going to have 8. There's 8 here. And it's going to spread out along the table. So each of these are going to have cards going out. So essentially, you're going to have cards like, let's see here. So essentially, you'll have, shuffle this up here. Yeah, I refill shuffle my cards because I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. So they'll look kind of like this. Let me see if I could lay it out here for you. Yeah, you'll see it like that. Right? And then on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to just look at these 8 cards, and then you're going to take a card and put it down in front of you, and then you're going to take this tile and just drop it there. That's it. And then you go around the whole table doing that until eventually one of these stacks, let me just put a card here on each. One of these stacks is gone. And when that's gone, you're going to take this and rotate it here. So now you see this purple here is in the red. This black here is orange. This gray here is green, yellow, and this is green. And why is that important? Well, that's because cards that match this, these purple cards that match this, well, they're going to score. Let's see if you could focus. So this purple here is the same as this purple card, and that means all the purple cards are going to score the highest point, which is 4. This one, that all the numbers are the same. So let me show you here. This one here. So 5, 3, 1. There. So that means all the purple cards are going to score this ability, and then the 2 orange, the yellow, and the black, they're going to score the mid number, and then the green cards, this blue and the gray here, are green, and they're going to score the smallest number. And then the other ones that are blank, well, they're not going to score anything. And that's it. And then whoever has the highest score wins. On top of that, though, is that each one of these has a special ability. So when you draft these cards, you could do certain things. Like you can move a card over. You can take a card from the top or the bottom. You can move cards around. You could draw any of these 3. You can move them around. Different things like that. And that's it. That's the game. That's the entire game. I'm going to come back up to me. Hi, how you doing? How have you been? I'm gonna open that, close that, open that, close that. There we go. Hi, how you doing? And that's it. That's the game. This drafting system is very, very simple. It's like, hey, take a card and then activate the ability for that column. Done. And then you just go around and around. And then what happens is that you slowly begin to see that certain cards are going to be worth more, and you're trying to push more to one's going down more, and then you're trying to push into that, empty it out. But then you notice that, okay, well, if purple's here, and that's going to go out, then whatever's next to that is going to be second most, and then obviously that one's going to be second most, and this one's here. Really, really interesting stuff. And there's table talk of getting people to drive that purple down, drive that yellow down. You want this to be getting more points. Really, really clever stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. But what's interesting is, and I could find the rules here. This is a game where you only score the points that you score. Like you'll get ranked, right? Whoever has the most, whoever generated the most energy, the energy being the numbers here. Whoever generated the most energy will be like number 1, and then second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Yada yada yada. But those aren't points. How the point system works is if you want to play like multiple games, and sometimes you do. Maybe you want to play like 2 games. I believe this game says like 2 rounds. I don't know, maybe 2 rounds. 3 rounds. How it works is that if you get first place, your score is the energy made from the points of the second person. So like you want everyone to get as close as you can, right? I just find that really, really interesting. So like, yeah, let me see the chart. I can show you what happens here. Yeah. There we go. So here's the scoring chart here. So you can see players A, B, C, D, and E. So player A is rank 1. Player B is 2, C is 2, D is 4, and 5. So B and C both tied. A raised 30 energy, and so the points he'll get will be 24 with B. B did 24 energy, and they'll do that. So your points are the energy the rank below you generated. So you kind of want to get close. You don't want to smoke people. And that little twist on the other drafting twist makes this a really, really clever game. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the art. I think, or the theme. I think the theme could have been, I don't know, something a little bit more approachable than just generating energy. And I do think that these tiles here could have been a little bit louder, brighter, and clearer. I probably would have made these numbers significantly bigger, and I probably would have, instead of making like a tiny little lightning bolt here, I would have made the whole number pink. And a little lightning bolt here, I would have made the whole number orange. I would have made the whole number green, and made this symbol like really big, like on the bottom or something like that. I would have preferred the UI to look a little bit differently, just so it's easier to read from afar. But man, oh man, the table talk in this game is really solid. I think this is a really good game. I play this with 4 people, and it plays. What does it play up to? Yeah, 3 to 5. I could see this doing pretty well at 5. 3 would also be okay. There are very few games I like at 5, but like drafting games like this, I don't mind because it's pretty fast. I think 4 is pretty good, though. I think 4 is where I would like to play this game. So Energy Apex is something I talked about earlier in my series, and now you finally get to see it. This, I think, is a really, really good game. Probably my number 10. If I had to pick a number, I think I'll go with Energy Apex as my number 10. Number 10 game, new game, going to Essen. Now we're going to go up here. Anyone have any questions about this moving forward? So, and I can answer them now. Well, I'll give you a second while I get some water and hydrate, because I got to hydrate. Oh, I got a haircut, ready for my trip. All right, moving on. All right, are you ready? I think we're ready. Next, I believe, will be yeah, I don't. One thing I also want to mention is an old game that's also going to Essen. Is some old games that are going to Essen that I'm a really big fan of, and I do want to mention that. Like, if I had to tell people like a short list of games to get, and these are my favorite of the favorites. Pathogen is still one of my favorite games. I think it's the second best game to ever come out of Taiwan. It's a 2-player abstract. I talked about this a lot in one of my previous videos, and I've also done videos specifically on this. And send me some game, Mister, please, says Mark Is Ramos. I want to send games to everybody if I could. This is a great game. I can't recommend this enough. This publisher are some really clever college kids, Color Deep, and man, they do a really good job. I played all their games by now, and I really like all of them. Mini Park is coming back to Essen. This is one of my favorite games from Taiwan, and it's also very close to me because it's the first game that I reviewed as Cardboard East. It's a very, very beautiful tile laying game. Very clever with the scoring system, and I gotta say, like, it's very Instagrammable, so it still works today. And it's a very light tile laying game. It plays like in 20 minutes. This is something that I was sure to recommend. You like a nice little filler tile laying game, then yeah, pick up Mini Park, because it's really good. And then how could I not recommend Hanamikoji, the best-selling game out of Taiwan, period. And it's a great 2-player game. People often tell me that this is a great dating game, like when you're going on a date with someone. I don't know how I feel about that. But also with Hanamikoji, if you go to their booth, you can pick up all the promos for this. They have a promo pack, and you have all the promo cards there. So you see the geishas and different clothes. Functionally, no difference at all. Quick fun story is that oh gosh, I don't know where it is here, but I don't have the promos here. I think they're in my other copy. But the geishas in here all are like fully clothed, and when you think of a geisha, yeah, what they're normally dressed as here. But the first like 4 promos for the geishas, Lotoi. How do you say that in English? Yeah, they show leg, like a little bit of a leg in there, trying to be a little saucy and stuff. Very un-geisha, especially with this time period. And I remember asking my Shirley, say, hey, why is it on the promos that all the geishas just are like kind of like showing a little bit of leg? And she's like, what? Really? She's like, I didn't do that on purpose. And like, I felt so bad because I embarrassed her because I remember she blushed. And then everyone from the entire Emperor S4 staff was looking at the promos. Okay, yeah, there's leg in all of these. And everyone's looking at my Shirley and I embarrassed her. I feel really bad about that. But I that's probably why like the last few promos have no leg in them. So I apologize to the board gaming community that you don't have promo geisha cards that show a little leg. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I take ownership of that. These are also some older games that are going to Essen that I think are great games and are worthy of being in anyone's collection. So I strongly recommend those. Now, going back to the list, I'm sorry. We're just delaying everything. So we'll do this. Number 10, I think, for me, is like Vita Moors and Soulaween. I forgot where I put Soulaween. I'm so sorry. My place is like a mess because not only am I doing all of this, I had to call my entire collection. I had to organize everything. I had to put stuff aside for like the Essen talks, and then I'm going to Japan, and then I'm going to come back, and then like in a week after I get back from Japan, I'm flying out to the U.S. So like there's just so much to do. This is my number 10, Vita Moors, social deduction game where there's no talking and you deduce who everyone is through the actions that they take. The artwork is beautiful. It looks like stained glass windows. It comes with this amazing metal Plague Doctor mini. Really, really cool looking. Absolutely love it. This is a really solid game. And Soulaween is an amazing 2-player abstract where the basic mechanics are very simple, but the asymmetry of how you play as these death gods is really, really cool. So I think this is probably my number 10, even though it's a little bit older and going. So maybe my 10 is all these games. It's Vita Moors, it's Hanamikoji, it's Mini Park, and it's Pathogen. All these games going to Essen, going there. More coffee. Number 9 on my list will be Energy Apex. Now, this might go higher with more plays. I've only played it like once, but I was so impressed by it. It's really, really good. I think if you're a publisher if I were a publisher in the North America or in the EU, like I'd be going to the Mo Ideas booth and trying to play this game and seeing if it's something that I would pick up and just license, and I would probably retheme it to something a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more approachable. But I think this is a really solid game, and it's really, really cool. Number 9. Already talked about it quite a bit. Number 8, I would say, goes to Itten, and that is Ninja Master. I'm not the biggest fan of real-time games, so when I played this game, and I was like, oh, this is just too much fun. I can't say no to this. And I actually had one of my favorite real-time games of all time before that was by Oink, the 9 Tiles Panic game. This is a really, really good game. Don't get me wrong. I like this. This is Men in Black, the game, because you are Men in Black. Let me see if we can focus here. You're Men in Black chasing aliens, and the aliens like to eat hamburgers, and there are little pit bull dogs, and they're just children chilling out in the middle of an alien invasion because they didn't go home. This is a great game. But when I had to call my collection, I thought, okay, I can still pick this up in the States, I think. And then I will let this go, bundle this away, and I'll keep this. And this game just replaced it for me. I really love the kinetic energy of it. I love stealing the katana. I love that when you have the katana, when you have the most points, you have the katana in front of you. I love that anxiety that you get because someone's going to take the katana from you and take 10 points from you. Really good game. I haven't played a game of that's ever felt flat. where everyone is just screaming, jumping up and down. Yeah, a lot of great kinetic energy there from the game. So my number 8 is Ninja Master. But as I'm going through this list, please tell me all of y'all's favorite games that are going to Essen. Are they the ones that I've done on this list? Which are the ones that you've seen? Are you most interested in? This is your last chance to ask you questions, because after this video, I'm pretty much packing. And then I'm selling a whole bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to the airport, and then I'm flying out, and then I'm going to Japan, and I come back, and I'm out. So this might be your last chance to interact with me. Forever? No, not forever. For like the next few weeks or so. Don't be so dramatic, Jay. Gosh. Moving on. Yeah, my number 7 is Baruka. Now, I talked about this in my last video, but man, I can't recommend this enough. I do have problems a little bit with the theme. I think it's kind of weird how you have this indigenous culture, and maybe there's some appropriation there, and but you have people's names who are like Nini and Frank and Ted. Like, that's just weird. I don't get it. But yeah, you're playing these tiles out, right? You're programming yourself, and okay, Mike, my player board here. Your player board. Yeah, where's Fred? Come on, Fred. Here's Frank. Yeah, here's Fred. You know, everyone's favorite. So you're going to be drafting out. You're going to slowly put 4 tiles here. This tile has to be green. This tile has to be blue. And these can be any color that you want. And then you're going to take those and then put them out onto the main board. And the main board is going to kind of look like this, where it's just a whole series of squares. And then you're going to use those colors to try and make shapes. And if you make the shapes to where they have enough red in a straight line, then you'll score points, and then they will all close their eyes. If you put them in a diagonal line, then they'll all close their eyes, and you'll get points for depending on how long that diagonal is. If you have squares with the blue or rectangles, then they will close their eyes, and then you'll gain extra points. I remember telling them that why do you have them close their eyes? Why shouldn't they open their eyes? Everything's closed and they open. He's like, what? Well, why should that matter? It's like, well, because the points that you get for having them be fires, their eyes are open. Shouldn't their eyes be closed? So it makes, I don't know. That's little details like that, right? Catch up. But you also have these cards in addition to that give you extra resources every time you do it. Maybe you get to have a free card. Maybe you always get a free red tile in addition to that. And then you also get these little cards here. So any shapes that you make throughout your turn, and these tiles are not 100% the tiles that you place. They're also the tiles that your opponents placed. That's really neat. And you can just boom, 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 score lots of points in this game. This is a really, really fun game. And I think it does need maybe a little bit more developed for the UI and UX. So if you're a publisher and you want to license it, I think this is a great investment for you, because I think it's a really, really fun game that I think is really solid enough and deep enough to have replay value. And I definitely want to play it again. I'm taking it with me to the States because, yeah, I think this game is really, really something special. And that has been my number 7 on the list. Yes. Send me some games, sister, please. My number 6 is this game, Pili. Now, I don't know how to explain it, but this is just, if you like kung fu movies, back in the 60s and 70s, and these big Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style of these big epic kung fu operas, this is the game for you. I have played games with that theme, but none of them come close to really capturing that theme and just going, screw it, we're diving head first into this theme and just playing it and maxing it out every single way. You are basically a new person in the Pili universe, and Pili is this, I don't know, decades old TV show of puppets, and you're just one of these new people here, and you're grinding away like you do in every JRPG, buying weapons, buying magic spells, recruiting people into your party. They're temporary mercenaries or the full mercenaries. you're killing these foes and villains to build up your XP so you can buy more things, harness your chi, learn new spells, and you're doing all of this stuff. And that's fun to do to get stronger and stronger and stronger. But then the game, like the board flips over and turns to a tactical skirmish. So where you're using your spells that you got, you're using the sword, you're using all these things that you have to attack and fight your opponents. And it's, I don't, there's no other game like it. And I can't really recommend it enough. And this it's just so unique. And I know that it's going to be very unapproachable. Like people are going to look at this and be like, what is this? I don't know anything about this theme. I don't want to try it, but you should do. Play it, demo it. It's amazing. I'm going to talk a special surprise about this game later, about like my favorite hidden gem going here. This is like one of my favorite hidden gems going to Essen. And so I really recommend you demo this because, oh man, it's really good. It's really good. The grinding part has like this Race for the Galaxy Puerto Rico style mechanic where, you know, oh, like you chose A, well, I'll do A2, but at a weaker form. Oh, he chose C, and I'll do C, but at a weaker action. So it's, oh man, it's really fun. I really like it a lot. I think it's a great work here. But like this publisher BGN, like man, they're killing it. Like they have like yin yang with a giant metal shell, and like this is a solid little programming area control game. Really good game. I can't recommend this enough. And that's not just because Alan gave me cookies. Amazing cookies. I should be having more of these. I think Yin Yang is a great game. A really good game. Why it hasn't been licensed or picked up is beyond me. And then 12 Rivers, you know? And they're the same publisher who did 12 Rivers. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that board. Like, who does games like that? That's amazing. And that was my number 6, Pili, going out there. Now, I do want to do a slight pause really quickly and mention that Joraku, if you go to the More Ideas website, and they also have Energy Apex, if you go to their page, you can also pick up Joraku, because Joraku is probably the best area control trick-taking game I've ever played. And there aren't many of those. This plays well at 2, 3, and 4. It comes with these great samurai meeples. It comes with a new board without a scoreboard that sucks. Man, I try to be pretty positive and light. If I don't like something in the game, I try and say it like I don't understand the design choice of that game. That's how I frame it, because that's how I honestly feel about it. But the scoreboard for the TMG version of Joraku is just terrible. It was a terrible decision. This, with the score track that goes around the edge of the board so everything's nice and clear, is what you want. Yeah. This is great. Go to the pre-order page, do that, pick up your copy at the booth, because yeah, it's amazing. Really good stuff there. Moving on, now we go to the top 5 games, like newish games, or my 5 hidden gems going to Essen this year. Number 5 is all the way over there. Number 5 is Maatatahay. And this is, ooh, this is a little warm. It's next to my window. Sorry. Maatatahay is gorgeous. It comes in a whiskey container. And like you could put this, you know, next to your fireplace. Not in your fireplace, but like on your bookshelf, somewhere else. You put it with all your alcohol. And people be like, oh, what is this whiskey? That's not whiskey. And you're like, oh, it's much better. And the board is really beautiful. It comes with this nice little string. So it has this nice little scroll. It rolls it out. It's this nice little abstract game. The rules do come kind of warped because it has to fit inside it too. But like, it's just really gorgeous looking. And like this picture does not do it justice. The one thing that I have to say about this game is that because of the components and how they look, certain rooms that have like a lot of yellow lights, it might be a big problem. If you're in a room with a lot of sunlight, then it's gonna be beautiful. You're gonna love it. This is a great 2-player tile placement abstracts, kind of like a war game. But yeah, even comes with a bag for a lot of the components. Like, man, oh man, this is a great game. This is a game that I think you'll play it, and the whole time you're actively engaged. You're constantly thinking about your moves. You're constantly thinking about where to go next, where your opponent, and going to places where you think, do I want to go to where I want to go, or do I want to go and block my opponent so that they don't go to this really bad place that's for me? There's a weakness here in my defenses. I got to defend that. You're thinking about all these things all the time. And the presence alone of this is great. So go to the TBD booth and pick this up because I think this is a solid game. This is the Black Panther Whiskey game. And if you can't remember that, you can remember the real name, Maatatahay. Not Maatatahay, Maatatahay. But you can just say, I'm here for the Black Panther Whiskey game, and they'll know what you're talking about because, yeah. Jay, I don't think your sound is working. Hello, hello? Can you hear me? Let me see. What about now? Can you hear me now? Let's edit this. No. Customization. Go here. No. Oh. No. I don't think it's working. Well, maybe I chose the wrong. Maybe I chose the wrong microphone when I did this. Oh, you hear me fine? Dale hears me fine. Steve is having trouble. Steven's having trouble. How is that? Is that better? I'll just leave the microphone here. Does that work for you? Jeff hears me fine. Dale hears me fine. Maybe it's Steven. Yeah, you never know. I thought I was doing it fine. I didn't have anything cut out. Okay. All right. But is it nice? Is it quality? Can you hear me? Is it clear? Is it loud? Is it? It was fine throughout. Okay, rock and roll. So, you scared me, Steven. Scared me, man. All good. All right. Well, I'm going to hopefully maybe that'll be okay there. So, you guys scared me. So Maatatahay is my number. Maatatahay? Oh my goodness. Black Panther Whiskey is my number 5. Make it Black Panther Whiskey time. That's my number 5. My number 4 is also over there. Let me go over there and grab it. Where? Oh, it's yes. My number 4 is Infiltrators. And if you hunt for it, make sure you spell Infiltrators right because it's Infiltraitors. I really don't understand why they do that. But this is a great, great game. I was really blown away by this. I wasn't expecting much. The art is super catchy. It has this great film noir look to it. And then it's a cooperative deduction game. Like there aren't that many cooperative social deduction games. There are like five suits, numbers 1 through 15. And you're going to have one card in front of you. No one knows what that card is. And like you have like maybe you're 5 green. No one knows what that card is. And so and look at that art. It's like this chase. Like it's just really neat, right? And then you're going to be placing cards down, either like horizontally, saying like, yeah, look, I'm either 5 or a yellow. You don't know. Or maybe you put a card. Please be something very different. Nope, that's something very same. Or maybe you put this card. Or maybe you put a card vertically, horizontally, this way, letting you know that it's not these things. So yes and no. Or maybe you give a card to someone else and then they could put it down horizontally or vertically. And that can help you get a better idea. And eventually you're going to pick up the gun, point it at the card, and be like, 4 green. And you got it. Very, very cool. And like you have X amount of bullets in the game. You have this cool little toy factor of this. How you feel about this, I completely understand about that. And if you don't like that aspect of the game, you can totally not play with it. You can just actually take this and throw it away. And the game would still work. I mean, granted, the bullets would be kind of weird because these are the number of guesses that you have. But I think it's really interesting. I think it's a really cool version of the game. And like this, And the fact that it's like The Crew, and it comes with 23 missions. 3 of those are training missions, and the 20 are the actual missions. And before each mission, you read a little brief to create this little story, and the story goes on. Really clever design. This is from Broadway. It's a Hong Kong publisher. Man, oh man, like I think this is a great game. I think this is a hidden gem that not many people are going to know about, and I think it's a game that you should pick up and play because, yeah, this is a great deduction game. I really recommend that. And then we go to my number 3 game, my number 3 hidden gem, and that is, where is it here? My number 3 hidden gem is Come Sail Away. This might be my game of the year. I don't know. Like this has been my game of the year for a long time. Like this is so beautiful. It plays in 30 minutes. It's just so nice, so approachable. It looks so good on the board. I made a teach and play. I've done a review copy of this. This is one of my favorite games from Sashi Musashi. It's just so big and beautiful. The only problem I have with it is that it's a big box, and you think it's going to have a big game experience, and you don't. It's like a 30-minute experience, and it's just lightning fast. But it's just so smooth. It's just so smooth. There are different rooms, like these tiles here on the back of the box. I think 5 are in every game, and the other 5 change. So you can change them out, and like these special rooms all have different effects and different abilities. So as you play the game, things will be a little bit different. And yeah, I really like this game. This is my number 3. I thought this is the hidden gems. There should not be too many copies of this, so you should go day 1, get this. If you're in this street, maybe you go Wednesday and get it. I don't know. But this is a really good game. I strongly recommend it. One of the best games to come out of Asia this year. And number 2, and I feel really bad about this because I thought that was going to be my number 1, but the more and more I play this game, the more and more I'm discovering different layers here. And that's Tiger and Dragon. And this is an older game. I grant that. Because it came out from in 2021 by ArcLight Games, but Oink picked it up for international distribution. Second day, Come Sail Away came out of nowhere for me, really good. But man, oh man, Tiger and Dragon, like this just shouts out, like on the look at that, just bam, look at that on the board on your shelf. When you put this out on your shelf, it just pops. And when you open it up and you think it's a card game, like no, it's not a card game. This is not a card game at all. It's a tile game with like mahjong tiles. Really great stuff. And the more I play, the more I'm discovering different things in the gameplay. Like you don't think about that, but you do it. Oh man, it's really good. And it's pretty simple, right? Like all these tiles are numbered. So like the odds are red and the evens are blue. And there's 1 1, there are 8 8s, there are like 10 10s, or not 9 9s, should I say. And when you play a number, I play a number like 4. And then the person next to me, they go. If they have a 4, they place it face up. If they don't have a 4, they pass and they're out. But if you do have a 4, you play it, and then you get to burn a tile from your hand, and then you play another tile. And that kind of goes around and around. And that's the whole game. Your goal is to get rid of all the tiles in your hand. It's called Tiger and Dragon because the tiger is a wild for the odd, and the dragon is a tile for the odd, and the dragon is odd, the tiger is even. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and they can defend against anything there, and that's really cool. And that in and of itself, that game alone is fun. It's a fun game, but they went 1 layer deeper, and now they have this. And these are different for each round you want to play. You can play with a different scenario, so that the way there's different scoring. So if you go out with these, you get that points. Go with these, you get these points. Yada yada yada. And like, it's very clear, like how you keep track of points. Like this is your board. This is where you play to defend, and that's where you burn. And you play the next card, and you do that. If you do that enough, you win. This little dots here are really clever. Right? If you have a 5-player game, everyone gets 7 tiles. If you have a 9-player game, 4-player game, 9, 3-player game, everyone has 11, 2-player game, everyone gets 13. You want to play the best and worst player count for this is at 4. If you have a team version of this game, and me and you are on a team, and they're on another team, and we vibe, amazing experience. But if we don't vibe, it's the worst experience. And then these are the points. Like, look at this, right? That's the back. It has this nice, cool little texture to it. And these were initially there, and then you pop them out, and then now you flip them out this way, and then now, like, yeah, these are points. Very, very clear. I love that. Like, just ultra, ultra clear. And I love it when games are flashy and cool, but I love when they're flashy and cool with clarity. Because anytime it's just easier and faster to read the board state, it's a lot more approachable for the players. Everyone has a lot more fun. And that is Tiger and Dragon. What was that? My number 2? Yeah, my number 2 hidden gem is Tiger and Dragon. And we're going to do my number 1 in a second. How's the sound, everyone? Is it coming through okay? Is the sound okay? Steven, did you figure it out? I really apologize about that. And I'm going to show my number 1 in a second. This is Bali coffee, and I'm going to miss it a lot. Best coffee I ever had in my life was here in Taiwan. A lot of the indigenous tribes here grow coffee, and they sell it. And oh, wow, is it amazing. Best coffee I ever had. Also, some of the most expensive coffee I ever had. But wow, is it just, yeah, really, really good stuff. I don't want to buy more to bring it back because I'm trying to keep my budget as tight as I can. But yeah, really, really good stuff. All right, so before I reveal my number 1, I want to apologize and tell you a little bit about a movie called Romance in the Stone from the 80s, where you have like this Indiana Jones style character played by like Kirk Douglas or Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas? Yeah, Michael Douglas. And he's like hunting for this jewel of the Nile. And then at the twist at the end of the movie, is that the jewel of the Nile isn't an actual jewel, it's a man. And my hidden gem for Essen Spiel is a designer, because I think he is a hidden gem. And he's been designing games in Taiwan for a long time, and it was only recently where I discovered the breadth of his work. So my number 1 isn't Taiwan Night Market, it's Bob, the designer, Zonga. He designed this game. He designed Night Market, which is an amazing auction game that's pretty mean, but also very, very flexible. Like, it's a very mean game where you're controlling booths and cutting people off. Like, customers are coming this way. He wants ramen. That's your ramen shop. You're making money. I'm going to build a ramen shop here and then steal all your customers and make money. You're not going to make any money, but then you're going to invest in a loudspeaker that plays loud music, and now everyone's going to go to your booth. That's how it is. Or I'm going to build a cart here, and I'm going to get people here, and then all of a sudden Bob, he's in between, like Bobby Joe, he's here in between us, and he's going to build a trash can. So now both of us have to pay him money to take out our trash. I can't wait for my coffee now. Any day now, right? Yes, any day. This is the Kickstarter version. So if you want to see what the Kickstarter version looks like, it looks like this. And I'll open it up. This is not my jewel of my hidden game of the jewel, but we're taking some time to show you this. Using a nice rule book, pretty clear. Rule book's pretty clear. I don't really like the money at all, but the meeples look really great. The big cat meeples are the ones that you'll be bidding on. You see, he's drinking bubble tea. Really cool. And then these are to show that you own the property. The customer tiles all look great. They all look really great and cute. I think they look really, really cute here. And it's very clear like who they are and what they want to drink. Like the cow wants donuts. Tiger wants ramen. I think the artwork of the booths all look super punk rock and cool. I absolutely love it. The bathroom mechanic is hilarious. I love it. I love that this is a summoning point, a spawn point for customers. Like someone every round is coming out of the bathroom. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is a great game. I think it's a really great game. But Bob is even a better designer because Bob, not only did Bob design this game, I'm going to put this cup down here. Not only did Bob design this game, but Bob also designed vegetable stock, right? That's huge diversity there. He designed vegetable stock. And not only did Bob design vegetable stock, he designed Christmas Tree, which is this great push your luck card drafting game that came out this year. That's coming out this year at Essen. Definitely play this. It's a really quick demo. It's like 15 minutes. Really fun little card game. And he designed these two little card games, this big epic game. And not only that, but you remember this game? Pili, the Kung Fu opera? That's this huge epic like strategy game that turns into a tactical skirmish game. Bob designed this too. And not only did Bob design this, Bob designed one of my favorite games to ever come out of Taiwan, and that's Roundhouse. Like Bob designed all these games here. He's the hidden gem of Essen Spiel. And yeah, like him and Eros, like they co-designed this together. But like, yeah, Roundhouse, really good game here. Like, and I think you should, if you go to Emperor S4, you should tell them like, hey, you should reprint Roundhouse because it's amazing, and they totally should because it's amazing. I think you can clean up a few things, take a little bit of all the expansions, toss them into the game, make it a nice big Kickstarter, redo it because man, oh man, like one of the coolest things about that part's pretty impressive. One of the cool things about this is like it has some of the thickest cardboard I've ever seen in the game. Let me see if I can get it out. Yeah, look at that. Look how thick that is. That's just ridiculous. And you put this on the board and you make this giant, massive, double layered rondelle. There's a rondelle within the rondelle. And like, yeah. And it's great artwork that kind of draws you into the theme. Like you have this really big, epic rondelle that's like when you unfold it, it's, I don't know, like this. It's like the size of a pizza. Like Bob designed all these games. Like Bob is the hidden gem of Essen. So he did Roundhouse. He did Tokyo. He did Taiwan Night Market. He did Pili, this Kung Fu opera. He did like these two cute little card games. And then in addition to all of that, he also did Mini City, which I think is one of the best card games to ever come out of Taiwan. I think if you find Bob, this is the hidden gem here. You find Bob, you find Zonga from Good Game Studios. He's going to be running around Essen, and he's going to be trying to pitch this game out. And the publisher who licensed this is going to get gold, I think, because this is a really good game. Are there any tournament maps that get funded? Oh, Kenny asks, I can't wait for my copy of Taiwan Night Market to arrive any day now, right? Yes, they are being fulfilled. I got this because, I mean, I live in Taipei with, you know, that's where like TBD and Bob live. Bob actually lives like 30 minutes away, like not 30, like a 15-minute scooter drive away, like really close. And so I was able to pick up this one a little bit earlier. And then Kenny asked, are the alternate maps the only things that didn't get funded? Yes, Kenny, I believe they're the only things that didn't get funded. I've been pushing Bob, and everyone on BGG should push Bob just to get the maps just kind of designed and throw them out there on BGG, and people can play alternate maps and they get printed out on a PNP, because I have played those maps and they're really good. They're really good. This map kind of goes top to down. The other map I played like goes in a spiral. Really clever stuff. I actually like the spiral map the most. But this game is also one of the hidden gems. This will be at Essen, but it's going to be on Bob. So, and I believe Bob said he's going to put it on BGG for people who can play it, print and play, and that'll help him pitch. But if you can find Bob, you can find this game and be like, Bob, I want to play your game. And then Bob will be like, okay, let's play. And he'll play the game and teach it to you. This is a really clever game. So I'll just teach you how to play this game right now. And we'll do it. And all the cards are in Chinese, but you know, I know you don't read Chinese, or at least probably statistically. I mean, you all should. But I guess on the planet, there's like 1.5 billion people who speak Chinese, and 1.5 billion people who are Indian. So what about the other 4 billion? Anyway, on your turn, you have 3 actions. You have A, B, and C. Okay. You're going to have a hand of cards. All the cards are going to kind of look like this. All right. There is a cost of the card here. This symbol is not a cost. That's the suit of the card. And the suit is used for different player abilities. You're going to see the name of the card here. This is gas station, Jayojan. This are numbers here. Never mind that now. This is an arrow, and it says $2. So essentially, if there's a card here below it, you'll get $2. Well, it is equivalent to $2. Anyway, so your 3 actions, what are they? Your 3 actions are C, number 1, Huan Pian. That means that you can draw 5 cards into your hand. You draw 5 cards into your hand, and then you discard 4. And then you can discard any 4, right? So it allows you to draw essentially one more card and improve the quality of your hand. Second action that you can do is build a card. And when you build a card, you pay the cost. And the cost is, this one is $15. I believe it's a wonder. Yeah, so like here's the Sydney Opera House there. That's $20. Let me find one that's a little cheaper here. Yeah, so here's this one. This one is cute. It's $7 for like a little school. And how you do that is like some of the cards, as I showed you before. If I could find it here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's one. So yeah, here's the gas station. So throughout the course of the game, you have cards below certain cards. So like this one will be here. This will be $2. So you could just use this as $2. You could also use cards that are from your hand as $1. And eventually you have enough to, let's say, build a card here. Build this one is 7. And when you build a card, you're going to put it on your line. You have one street. That's it. You have your government building, which is here in the center. Everyone has a government building here. And then every card you build will be on the left or to the right. You can extend out to the left or extend out to the right. You can never build in between 2 cards. You can only build to the left and right. Okay? So first action, draw cards from your hand. Draw 5, discard 4. Second action, build cards. And there's also a market, so you could build other buildings. And then like you have additional cost of +3 for that. And there's also wonders there that you could build. So like there's a Leaning Tower of Pisa. There's pyramids here, and they do like extra strong powers. The third ability that they do is to activate. And how you activate? Come on, where are those cards? Oh, they're all in here. Come on. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In front of you, you're going to have 5 cards. I apologize that none of this is ready beforehand. You're going to have these cards, and it's very clear. It's very simple. Like on the back, you have a cute little worker here. And they're numbered 1. They are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And on your turn, for one of the actions, you can take one of these cards and flip it over. So if you flip over like the 1, then from all the buildings that you have built, from the left to the right, are all going to activate. And they're only going to activate, though, if they have the number. So you can see your government building here is this. So if you flip over to the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, then you're going to take a card from the deck and then put it here face down, and that's going to be $2. And like some of them only activate, like on this one, only activates on 3 and 4. And the card you put here will be 2 points. This one activates on 2, and they all have different abilities here. And that's it. That's the game. When you flip over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could do that. And then once you flipped over 4 of them, then they all of them unflip. And that's it. That's the game. The game, once someone has built 10 buildings, you do equal rounds, and then one more round, and the game's over. But there's so many cards here. I think there are 90 cards. Yeah, there are 90 cards in this game, but there's so many cards that you can have, and you can have repeats. Like you have 2 gas stations, you can have 2 libraries. But there's so many cards, and there's so many abilities, and there's so many different engines that you could build with this deck of cards. And I think this is like a great game. I played this and I go, I will never need to play Oh My Goods again, because I think this is better and smoother and a lot cleaner. Oh My Goods has bigger cards, and that might work, I guess, like in North America, people kind of care about that. But like, this is a great game. What's also really clever about this game, and oh man, really clever, Bob, is that if you could see here, right, 30 to 60 minutes, ages 10 and up for the age, and it plays 1 to 3, parenthesis 5. Let me get that there. We can get it. There we go. Yeah, parenthesis 5. What does that mean? Is that means one box plays 1 to 3, but if you get 2 boxes, you can play up to 5. I said, why not 6, Bob? And he's like, no, 6 is too long. You don't play 6. I'm like, okay, Bob. But yeah. So now I have 2 copies of this game because I want to play maybe one day up to 5. But yeah, this is a great game. This is the real hit. Like Bob is the hidden gem for going to Essen. He's going to Essen now. And just reach out to him and say, Bob, I want to play your game. You see him out there. Just say, Bob, I want to play your game. He's a Taiwanese guy with glasses. So if you see a Taiwanese guy with glasses, it's like, hey, are you Bob? And he's like, oh, yes. I like, Bob, I want to play your game, Mini City. It's like, oh, okay. And then you just play it. You might have, there might be quite a few Taiwanese people with glasses that you run into. Like, are you Bob? He's like, no. Like, okay, bye. But yeah, that's my hidden gem of it. What is the publisher of Mini City? That is, so Pierre, from Japan. Hey, Pierre, how are you doing? Pierre, remind me, where's your store? Where's your cafe? Is it Osaka or is it Kyoto? Where are you in Tokyo? Where are you, Pierre? Mini City is by Good Game Studio. That's the same publisher who did Vegetable Stock. It's the same publisher who did Christmas Tree. Same publisher who did Taiwan Night Market. Right? You could maybe find Bob at the Taiwan Board Game Design booth. He might be there. He might be demoing the game. But ask around, look for Bob, and play a copy of Mini City. He said he was going to put it up. Accosting Bob sounds entertaining. It does, doesn't it? Let me look up here. Board Game Geek. Let me look up Mini City and see if it's here. We're doing this together. No, it's not there yet. Let's type it in Chinese. I don't know if that'll work. Sure. Oh, not that shi. The other shi. Zhang. No, it's not there. Okay, well, it's not there in Chinese or in English, unless he called it something else besides Mini City. His name is Robert Paulson. Oh, you're not that Pierre. I'm sorry, Pierre. Sorry. There are lots of Pierres out there in the world. But thank you for watching, Pierre. I watched Fight Club preparing for this, actually, or listened to it anyway. Yeah, this is by Bob, and Bob is the hidden gem going to Essen this year. I think he's a very diverse designer, like going from like Kung Fu Opera, Taiwan Night Market, auction themed game to this epic Rondell set collection game to like mini draft game, like a push your luck draft card game. So much fun. This is a really fun game. Vegetable Stock, little stock checking game to like a mini engine building, tableau building card games. I think Bob is a designer to really keep your eye on. He's designed lots of games over the years, but I think very recently he started really hitting the stride and really designing some really quality games. Oh, you're the Pierre who owns a publishing game company. So you just walked away a millionaire, Pierre. But yeah, this is it. This is what I think. These are my favorite gems going to Essen. I don't think any of the games that I've reviewed this week are bad. None of them are bad. I don't think any of them are bad. Like the cake game. Cakes was so much fun. I had so much fun building that cakes yesterday. Great game. I'm taking that with me to the States. Coffee Rush with the little coffee cups and you put the icons in. That's a really solid game. That's a great game. I don't think that's a bad game at all. Or Mighty. Oh my goodness. Mighty, the trick-taking game from it comes in the 70s. Like that's a good game. I despise Julius for making me say this, but Politics, Canada Dogs versus Politicats. That's a great game. It's suddenly about racism and political cronies and corruption with a really ultra cute theme. It's a good game. Like, I don't think any of the games that I reviewed this week are bad or previewed are bad. So look around at all 4 of those live stream videos. Look at what's there. All of these games from Bob, I think, are really great. Like Vita Moors is a really solid game. Mini Park is a great game. This video has all my favorite gems going to Essen this year. I won't be at Essen this year, but I will be at Essen next year. I should be at PAX Unplugged later this year, so you could run into me there, and we'll talk and chat if you want to say hi. I will also be at, I believe, Gamma this year, so you could find me there and stop me and say hi. But yeah, I'll be in North America going to a lot of conventions, and yeah, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for all your support. If you supported me on all these games on the shelf back here, they're up for auction. I can't thank you enough for joining the Cardboard East Cold Collection Auction. I also want to mention before you leave that I'm going to be putting more games onto that auction block. So be on the lookout. Right now, there are 243 games, and I'm going to be putting more on there on that list. So there are going to be a lot of games on that list that are going to be auctioned off. So keep your eye out on there. There's a link below in the description for that. There's a link below to all the other videos. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for watching Cardboard East. This will be the last live stream for a good long while now. And I will be doing some short form videos from now until I start doing long form, maybe in November or December. So I will see you all there in the next Cardboard East video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Canada Shampoo. I tried Viking Seesaw over the weekend at Sakorodo here in Okinawa. It was pretty fun, different than other balanced games. All the best, Jay. Daryl sends love. Thanks, Daryl. I'll be in touch. I got some really great news to share with everyone. I'm so excited. Kenny, we will miss you. You're the best. Thanks, Kenny. I have some really exciting news that I can't wait to share with you. I'll be telling you that great news later on in October, like mid-October. So look out for a fun video there. All right, gang. This is me signing off, and I'll see you in the States.